top 20 grants manager interview questions and answers. Even with the best of intentions and running a non-profit event or organization, it's difficult to make a real difference in the lives without spending cash, as everything has a cost. Fortunately, rich donors support organizations and other institutions that provide money to smaller non-profit organizations and projects. So, here are the top 20 grants manager interview questions and answers to assist you in passing your interview. 1. Why are you interested in this role? Given how fantastic this profession is and how much of an influence you may have while working as a grants manager, it almost seems stupid to ask. Still, stating that you see a significant purpose in the profession and that you want to make a difference in this or that town, state, or country is not enough. Express how everything you have done up to this point has prepared you for this responsibility role by referring to your abilities and experience. Sample answer: I have always wanted to pursue social work since I was a kid. My parents instilled in me the value of assisting others. From then on, I continued to participate in many social activities and provide assistance to others in the form of money and other necessities such as food and shelter. I'd also been appointed as a grants manager on several occasions, which is why, when I saw your job, I immediately applied because of my expertise and education. 2. What are the roles of grants managers? Grants managers play a significant role in many organizations. They are in charge of distributing money and other stuff properly. Every grant manager has a set of regulations and obligations in common. The interviewer wants to know if you've ever worked as a grant manager, and if you have, he'll find out from your response. Sample answer: working as a grants manager entails distributing funds raised from donors, attempting to support constructive efforts that align with the organization's values and goals, the reason for its existence, play a critical role in this process, designing grant programs, researching funding opportunities, coordinating with grant columnists, tracking applications, and generally doing your best to ensure that money ends up in the right hands are all included in this position. 3. What are the qualities that a grants manager needs to be successful? Every job necessitates a specific set of skills. These characteristics differ from one work to the next and from one position to the next. This role, in particular, necessitates a wide range of abilities that are not common in other positions. Sample answer: experience in finance, accounting, management, and, of course, outstanding communication skills are essential to become a successful grants manager in this role. Values are also important. Integrity must be at the top of your principles and values list if you want to be successful. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you manage them? Your interviewer is trying to get a feel of how you will handle conflict by asking this question. In a job interview, anyone can appear charming and pleasant, but what happens after you are hired? You'll want to emphasize how you stayed focused and handled the problem professionally and effectively, and you'll want to wrap things up with a pleasant finish. Sample answer: in the previous organization, we didn't have a specific person who could give you a command on a specific project, which caused us issues. There was a minor snag in the hierarchy process, and we had to give presentations to a number of different people and staff members. This could no longer be tolerated, so we decided to make changes within the organization. 5. Describe your daily routine as a grants manager. If you're applying for a job, you should be aware of the everyday responsibilities of that position. As a result, the interviewer will get a sense of how much information you have about the job. Sample answer: the first thing we need to do is make ourselves ready for the meetings and obtain the current day's program instructions. We verify the files and data for past and current programs or campaigns that we have launched, how much we have spent, how much is left, as well as places and persons, after and before this meeting. Then we go about our daily routine and make sure the money is in the appropriate hands. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. This is a common icebreaker question in interviews, but not in this one. In the recruitment of a new grants manager, experience is quite important. It will be difficult to succeed and obtain the desired employment contract unless you can establish your readiness for the job while telling your previous experiences. Sample answer: I have worked on planning, budgeting, auditing, managing a small team, and, of course, ensuring that federal and other requirements are followed. I have a bachelor's degree in finance, but I selected this industry because I wanted to serve others, and my degree offers me an advantage in this position. I have been involved in such events since I was a child. so I have plenty of expertise and a thorough understanding of how this system operates. I was promoted to grant manager at my prior employer and worked there for over 5 years. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? To reach its objectives and become successful, each job necessitates distinct tactics and mindsets. The grants manager position is distinct from all others. It entails a number of duties, each of which necessitates a different set of talents to do. Stick to the issue and present the appropriate methods for this position. Sample answer. This position necessitates careful budgeting. This function is best performed by someone who is well versed in finance. This is not your typical job. It necessitates zeal and strong emotions. This position necessitates excellent communication skills as well as a firm belief in yourself and a commitment to continuous work. Apart from that, good prospecting and identifying the correct people who truly require finances is critical for improved results. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? Taking an honest look at issues you've faced in previous employment is a part of the interview process. The interviewer is attempting to determine how you would approach problem solving in your new role and to identify any potential problems. Don't pretend that your professional life has been easy up to this time. Give a response that is related to the situation. Sample answer. The most difficult aspect of this profession, in my opinion, is that you are usually working in rural places that are far from your current position. It is not an issue because it is part of the business, but too much traveling can leave you fatigued and exhausted. Overall, the job requirements that are listed on the job posting satisfy me. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? Keeping yourself motivated at work might be difficult at times, but with a motivation strategy in place, you can improve your involvement and regain your enthusiasm for your job. Finding techniques to stay motivated might also help you increase your production and enhance your results. Give an honest answer to this question, and always apply for jobs that you are truly passionate about. Sample answer. I have always been motivated by a challenge. In my previous position, I was in charge of training our new hires and ensuring a 100% pass rate. I'm aware that this job is extremely fast-paced, but I am up for the challenge. In fact, it makes me happy. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. An interview is primarily on your academic and professional accomplishments. Then there are the questions about your flaws, blunders, and mistakes. Tell me about a time you failed, is one of the most commonly asked questions. These questions are more difficult to answer, but the main goal is to learn how you handle failures in life and what you learn from them, as well as whether they are related to the current company. Sample answer. I remember when I first started this work in 2015. It was my first position as a grants officer, and I was in charge of updating and maintaining the database. I became lazy one day and failed to update the record on the spot, resulting in a very uncomfortable situation. I have never made the same mistake since that day. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? The HR interview question, why should I hire you, turns out to be more difficult than it appears. It may make you feel as though you're being judged against other prospects, but that's how it works. Give reasons why you are interested in working for the company and how you can contribute to its success. Sample answer. Well, I am a guy who is loving, friendly, and nurturing. This position necessitates prior experience and absolute professionalism. I have previous expertise in this industry, and it also requires a sense of responsibility, which I already possess. I am confident that I can contribute to the success of your company. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. Consider yourself fortunate if your interviewer asks you this question. It's the ideal time to share your most memorable experience. Unfortunately, the majority of contenders squander this fantastic opportunity. Your biggest hit tale should be the one you tell when asked about your greatest accomplishment. Choose the scenario that you believe best demonstrates why you are a good fit for the job. Sample answer. My greatest accomplishment was managing many grants manager programs in one location. For my former firm, XYZ, I was in charge of many grants projects, and I handled the campaigns flawlessly. My organization praised me for this as well. 13. How well versed are you in this field? This is a unique field. State to state and even globally, competition is fierce. The interviewer wants to know how knowledgeable you are about the industry so that it is evident that you are qualified for this position. Sample answer. In their industries, firms must pay attention to two things: what their competitors are doing and what their clients are doing. Although you do not always agree with your competitors, it is critical to be informed of the changes they are implementing. I have worked in the sector for almost 10 years and am quite familiar with it. 14. As a grant manager, how good are your presentation skills? Make sure you tell a narrative that displays your ability to present in front of a large group. Offer to give the interviewer a clip of that presentation if you are feeling really courageous. This will undoubtedly differ from what the majority of people do. Sample answer. I enjoy talking a lot. I am a talkative individual. As a result of my outstanding communication skills, things become easier for me to manage. Before stepping into any form of campaign or activity, I concentrate on presentations and constantly prepare. 15. One of the most generous donors contacts you to express their dissatisfaction with the way the funds are being spent. What are your plans? Donors are frequently curious about the money they are providing and want to know everything there is to know about it. Some contributors are unconcerned about expenditure, while others will ask you questions on a weekly or annual basis. This is a situational basis question designed to help you figure out how you'll handle similar scenarios. Sample answer. First and foremost, the organization has a good reputation, and the donors have faith in it. If someone new or with previous records makes this assertion, I will ask a few questions about their attitude and disclose all records so that they may feel secure that their money is being spent properly. 16. How do you assess a grant program's success? At this point, you have various alternatives for a suitable response. The first refers to the objectives you specify for each grant program. In your job, you don't rely on luck. You establish clear goals for a grant program. When you develop it, it might be the number of grants awarded funding in the end, or it could be the impact you want to have. In any event, at this stage, present some reliable measurement steps that demonstrate your experience. Sample answer. I will meticulously keep track of and review the list of success indicators. These indicators were created for this purpose and aid in determining a grant program's success. The indicators may include the number of grants the organization has written, the amount of funders and contributors, the range of applications who received financing, and the total amount of money spent. 17. How will you ensure that the integrity of your team of personnel, grant coordinators, assistants, and so on, is maintained? There's always a temptation when there's a lot of money involved. A brother, nephew, or family friend, if you know what I mean. Unexpectedly, their application is given special consideration, or they are given more cash than the other candidates. The most critical question that any interviewer for this position will or should ask is this one. The best response is, sample answer. It's not easy to stop this from happening, especially if you work for a large foundation with dozens of individuals involved in grant management, but there is, without a doubt, a means to deal with it. I intend to put in place suitable control systems. Compliance with the rules and impartiality will be the basic values of the team under my supervision, and audits will be conducted throughout and on a regular basis. 18. How do you define integrity? This is a broad question intended to find out how you understand honesty. Because such initiatives involve large sums of money, many persons with a lack of ethics commit fraud. The ideal response to this question is, sample answer. For me, it means always doing the right thing, not the greatest for my personal well-being or financial gain, but the best for the entire community, environment, and human society. That's how I approach all of my life's major decisions. And, while it's not always easy to overcome my selfishness, I do my best. 19. Tell us about a time when you had to work under a tight deadline. Regardless of the type of work you're applying for or the industry in which a firm operates, meeting deadlines is critical. You will be working with deadlines in every role. Nothing would get done if this were not the case. This is only one of the many reasons why interviewers are curious in how you perform under pressure. Sample answer. I deal with deadlines on a regular basis in my current position, and they have become more or less standard. In such instances, I believe that collaboration and communication are essential. Even if I'm only a day or two away from achieving my deadlines, I'd rather inform than make a mistake because these grant projects are extensive and must be completed correctly. 20. Tell us about an instance when you utilized persuasion successfully to persuade someone. Man is a species of habit, and we do not easily change our minds. The older we get, the more obstinate we become. When you work as a manager or in sales, though, your ability to utilize persuasion to persuade others becomes vital to your professional success. The correct response could be: sample answer. In my previous position as a grant manager, I attempted to persuade supervisors to switch from a manual to a digital record-keeping system. I presented them with a notion, but they were certain that the current system was sufficient. However, I did not give up. On my laptop, I created a graphic, and after some calculations and forecasts, I showed them exactly, in figures, how beneficial this can be. Finally, they were persuaded, and we were given the go-ahead.